Hey you guys! So today's video is going to be a makeup video. I'm so excited, I haven't done one of these in so long. So I figured I would show you my current sort of everyday makeup look. I really only do this when I am working. I don't wear a whole lot of makeup, especially not with the mask wearing. I keep it very light, very minimal. I finished Accutane up a couple of months ago, so I still definitely have some scarring and things that I like to sort of mask the best I can, but I am so thankful that I do feel a little bit more comfortable to wear a little bit less coverage, a little bit less cakey makeup than I did before Accutane when my skin was very inflamed and irritated. So I figured we'd do this a little bit of like a get ready with me. I am just starting out with some Vaseline. My lips feel dry. This is embarrassing how long I've had this. It's labeled wax because this is how it had to be labeled for my state board exam that I took now almost 2 years ago. We didn't use real wax. We used Vaseline to kind of just like show the proctor like the motion of how we would wax. So weird. So I'm still cruising on this little tub of Vaseline that I've had for 2 years. That's embarrassing. Okay. So this morning I washed my face and I applied my SPF. So I've been wearing this for a couple of hours. It's the Purito Centella Green Level Unscented Sun. I'm not exactly sure what ended up happening with all of the controversy surrounding this sunscreen. If you guys didn't follow all that, it says SPF 50 plus, but there was some like third-party tests going on that found the SPF to be much lower. And now I'm reading something about the Crave Beauty sunscreen is also a lot less than it claims. So I'm not really sure about all that, but SPF 19 or whatever they're saying it is still better than no SPF. So I do have this on my face. It's been on here for several hours at this point. So this has been my favorite sort of face base foundation. It's kind of like a BB cream. It's the Australian Gold Botanical Sunscreen Tinted Face, and it's SPF 50. Now, I'm sure we all done saw the stinking video of, who was that, Gwyneth Paltrow? There is a lot of debate as to how much sunscreen you need. Obviously, we all know Gwyneth Paltrow is wrong, but I have always gone by the 2-finger rule. This is just for my face. Yes, every day, this is how much I use. Some people do the 3-finger rule, which I feel like is a little bit excessive. For me, personally, I use 2 fingers worth no matter what sunscreen I'm using, even if it's tinted. I do like to apply it with my fingers, and as you can see, it is, here you go, it is a little dark for my skin tone, so I do try to blend it down my neck as best I can, and I go all the way up and under my eyes because I don't use any concealer under my eyes these days, just my tinted sunscreen, and I take my time rubbing it all in. Then what I like to do is clean off my hands so I don't make a mess, and then once I get all the excess off my hands, I like to go in one more time and just do a little bit more buffing. Now my face is a little bit red. That is because I am not gentle. So you can definitely tell some of my scarring is still coming through. That doesn't bother me nearly as much as my skin once bothered me. Now, a lot of the times I do skip this step because, like I said, if I'm going to work, I'm wearing a mask all day. So I don't really care a whole lot about adding more coverage. But if ever there is a time where I do want to add a little bit more coverage to my cheeks, I use the Bare Minerals Summer Bisque Concealer usually. I like to top it off with a powder. It just helps to set everything, and like I said, this does add a little bit of coverage. Are you guys watching American Idol this year? I haven't watched in a few years, but I have been keeping up this year. When we were in quarantine the other week, I caught up on all the episodes that I was missing. I skipped most of the audition episodes, but they do post the new episodes on Hulu the day after they air. So I have been watching, and what's so funny is I started following Madison Watkins on Instagram several months ago, maybe 5 or 6 months ago. I started following her on Instagram. She's got the most beautiful hair I've ever seen in my life. And then she started posting about how she was auditioning for American Idol. So I've been watching her. She is definitely one of my favorites. I used to watch American Idol. I have so many memories of the earlier seasons. I loved Kelly Pickler. I cried when she went home. I loved Catherine McPhee. I cried when she went home too. Who are your guys' favorites? Let me know. So there we go. Now that I've added a little bit more coverage, that is pretty much all I do for the base. Then we will go ahead and finish up the face. This is my more or less everyday palette. I use mainly these two. I use this one up here a lot. This is Makeup Geek Shimma. And then these are all my Coastal Scents blushes. The palette itself is also Coastal Scents. This is a Kathleen Lights collaboration with Makeup Geek. I depotted it out of the palette and just stuck it in here. And then this is a butter bronzer that I haven't used in a while. That should probably go in the trash. So I am just going to grab this blush here. It is by Colourpop and it is the shade I Need Space, which is a collaboration shade with Kathleen Lights. Look at how diffused and beautiful this brush applies it. This is a Moda Pro by Royal & Langnickel. The pointed blush. I got this in a BoxyCharm approximately 1 million years ago, and in the process of moving, one of like 6 times I ruined the brush handle. I think it's shedding. The handle is shedding. I think one of my like cleaners or something leaked. One of those brush cleaners leaked in the process of moving and it ruined the handle. I am the queen of blush on my nose. I love a blushy nose. Then I will usually grab my e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush and the highlighter, also from Colourpop. This is in the color Dreamscape. I also really like Here Kitty Kitty, but when I went to go buy it, it was out of stock. And I just apply that to the tops of the cheekbones and usually right down my nose as well. And then I will go back in with my blush brush and kind of blend everything out and together. If I remember, I will try to apply my highlight first. I just think the blush looks better when it's nice and blended over the highlight. If one thing is gonna overpower, I would rather the blush overpower the highlight than vice versa. So that's pretty much everything that I do to my face. The eyes, I keep it super simple. I use a lip brush. Technically, I believe this is a lip brush. It's completely, there's like no markings on it at all. I don't know where it came from. And I will either go in with that Dreamscape or with Shimma on a little itty bitty brush. And I just apply it right on the inner corner. And I try not to bring it out too far or diffuse it too much. I like to keep it very concentrated right on the inner corner so it really pops. It's less of like a diffused glow on my whole eyeball. It's more of like a bing. I like it to be very pointed. And then usually this looks a lot better because my brows are wild and out. But I will bring a little bit on my brow bone as well. For my brows, I typically go for the e.l.f. Clear Brow and Lash mascara. It is double-sided, one for lashes and one for brows. I use them both on my brows. I love a clear brow gel. My brows are pretty dark naturally, and I do all sorts of things to them. Sometimes I henna them, sometimes I laminate them. So I like a very simple clear brow gel to get them to, you know, all point in the right direction. I don't really like to use makeup to add fullness or thickness or anything like that. I just like a plain clear brow gel. And this one by e.l.f. is really cheap. I usually brush my brow hairs like way crazy up so they look super duper feathery. Let the gel dry a little bit and then brush them down. I do like that very feathery look. So while that dries, I will go in with my mascara. This is the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect. I usually use this green one. There's a purple one. I'm not really sure what the difference is. And then on really long days, I might go in with a waterproof one instead. But that one is a little bit more difficult to take off, so I do prefer the green one. I usually have my lashes lifted and tinted, so I don't really curl them much anymore. I just go straight in with the mascara. And we will just brush these bad boys down. And then for lips, I am truly usually just wearing Vaseline, but we will mix it up today for the purposes of today's video. I love the Sunbum Tinted Lip Balms. This one is in the shade Bonfire. These things are pretty stinking pigmented for a lip balm. Very natural, very everyday. So that is pretty much my everyday makeup. I am nice and fresh and natural, protected from the sun, and nice and glowy as well. So that's everything for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss any future videos of mine, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! Can I speak English?